don't know about you, but as I get older, I find myself relying more and more upon marijuana just to relax, not for purposes really of intoxication, although mild. Intoxicating quality of the drug is delightful. No, just to relax. Burgess describes marijuana as an admirable drug, and I do agree, but for Burgess, far more important was this particular plant. This here is a tea tree. Now, Anthony Burgess explains that he drank too much until he was about 50. After then, after the age of about 50, he still drank. Occasionally heavy. I mean, he explains in a recent article that he got drunk with the Sultan of Pera, I believe. Or maybe the Sultan of Pahang, I can't remember exactly. When he returned in 1980, when he returned to the Malay Peninsula. So he still got drunk occasionally and certainly enjoyed, to use his own term, the imbibing of liquors of all kinds. However, it's clear, especially after the death of his first wife and married as he was to an Italian. Italians, as you will know, tend to drink in a civilized manner. From then on, he began to, I'm pretty sure, reduce lightly his consumption of alcoholic beverages, and he explains that he increasingly was using a tea in Sussex. He was living in Sussex. He used a lot of benzodrine to keep the output up. Benzodrine and I believe other uppers. But after the age of about 50, I think he was using tea a lot more. His preferred concoction, Irish breakfast tea. Perhaps he, on his trips to Canada and the US, perhaps he picked up some boxes, some chests of Irish breakfast tea. But my general point is this. I repeat, Burgess drank too much until he was 50, in his own words. After then, he turned to what Cowper, I think it was Cowper, called the cup that cheers but does not inebriate. And Burgess explains that it was his habit to use, I think I'm right in saying, 6 tea bags to every cup. Once again, this is one of Burgess's gross exaggerations. It's just comic, really. 6 tea bags. I mean, how ridiculous. You don't need 6 tea bags to every cup. I mean, if you want a strong cup, a couple of tea bags. I mean, 6 Irish breakfast tea bags. Give us a break, Burgess. But obviously he relied more and more, as he grew older, on tea to enable him to concentrate and continue to produce. And it doesn't surprise me that tea, perhaps above all, perhaps even more than gin, perhaps even more than whiskey, was Burgess's preferred beverage, because Burgess was, above all, a highly diligent man. He was probably a diligent student. I can't be sure about this when he was at school. He was presumably a moderately diligent student at university, but he was a highly diligent teacher. Of this there is no question. This is attested. He worked extremely hard in Banbury. He worked hard also, the impression I get is he worked like a bloody dog in Kuala Kangsar, and indeed in Kota Baru, in helping other teachers. And it must have been inspiring to be taught by Burgess. And he worked so bloody hard in Bandar Seri Begawan in Brunei that he obviously had some kind of nervous breakdown. So, I repeat, it doesn't really surprise me that tea was his drug of choice. And increasingly I find myself following Burgess's ways. The restoring brew. Yes, I do recommend that people consult Burgess's essay on tea that is to be found in The Book of Tea, a coffee table book. It's the preface or the introduction. And it's worth comparing Burgess's tea essay with Orwell's equivalent, which is called A Nice Cup of Tea. Burgess is as dogmatic on the subject as is Orwell.